This is Ecotricity's EcoTEC roundup show from Aotearoa's first and only climate-positive certified renewable electricity provider. We only source from wind, hydro and solar, and we are the leading supplier of electricity to EVs in Aotearoa. Switch today at ecotricity.co.nz. Welcome back to another roundup of news in the world of clean cars and green energy. Thanks for joining me. It's the start of April, and that means we've been seeing automakers announce their first quarterly EV sales figures for the year in the US. And while there's not enough time to do them all, here's a very quick blast through some of them. Tesla, as usual, one of the first to report, said it produced just over 440,000 cars and delivered nearly 423,000, and has set its Q1 earnings to be released on April 19th. Meanwhile, Rivian produced 9,395 vehicles and delivered just shy of 8,000, a significant year-on-year improvement from Q1 last year, but slightly lower than the record figures from Q4 last. Meanwhile, in Detroit, Ford's total EV sales during Q1 sat at just shy of 11,000 vehicles, significantly less than in previous quarters due to it halting production at its Mexican production facility where the Mustang Mach-E is made in order to retool for higher production volumes. That and, of course, a halt to F-150 Lightning production caused by a battery fire. This put Ford in third place in the EV sales charts behind GM, whose various brands delivered 20,670 EVs, one of which became a family member's very first EV. Volkswagen sat in fourth place with just shy of 10,000 EVs delivered. Combined, EV sales in the US rose 48% from January through March to just over 250,000 cars, a market share of 7.2%. That is up significantly on this time last year, but there's still a long way to go. It was the New York Auto Show this week, and that means we saw several new electric vehicles get official reveals, or rather, official specs released. Among them was the 2025 Ram 1500 REV, a vehicle which we first saw back in January in concept form, but which has already coalesced into something that looks production ready. As detailed by Stellantis midweek, the first all-electric Ram features a choice of two battery packs, one at 168 kilowatt hours and one at 229 kilowatt hours. There's also 800 volt, 350 kilowatt DC quick charging and a range of up to 500 miles or 804 kilometers for the extended range variant. It's big, beefy, can tow 14,000 pounds, and I know it will make a lot of people happy. But is bigger really always better? Shortly after rumours started to swirl this week that Tesla was already gearing up its supply chains to make 4 million units per year of its promised $25,000 EV, it published Part 3 of its Grand Master Plan. The plan, first detailed at Tesla's Investor Day earlier this year, reads like an academic paper mixed with a call for investment, which Tesla reiterates is necessary in order to achieve the things it says are possible if all of its suggestions in the paper are followed. It's impossible to paraphrase the entire document in the time we have available for this news roundup, but there's one thing that's conspicuously missing in Tesla's Master Plan Part 3. Public transit. Given that most experts say that public transit will have an incredibly large part to play in decarbonising the world for the future, this strikes me as particularly odd. EV startup Canoo has officially agreed to a $1.5 million settlement with the US Securities and Exchange Commission after an investigation surrounding its reverse merger in 2021 with a special purpose acquisition company. The investigation and any resulting fines taken care of, Canoo can once again focus its attention on bringing its vehicles to volume production, and this week it was celebrating the opening of a new microfactory facility at the Mid-American Industrial Park in Pryor, Oklahoma. Although Canoo is in the process of building a much larger production facility nearby, it says this microfactory will help it begin series production before the larger factory, which is still under construction, is ready to open. Canoo claims its just acquired facility will be outfitted, staff hired, and ready to make vehicles by the middle of June. Talking of production facilities, Volocopter, the company behind the Volocity eVTOL air taxi, has completed its first production line where the craft will be made. The fifth generation of electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft to be engineered by the company, the Volocity will be the first eVTOL craft to enter series production, with Volocopter already in receipt of all of the necessary manufacturing paperwork needed for it to be EASA approved. And if you're expecting to see something akin to a regular automotive production line, think again. Volocopter's new production facility includes clean rooms where various lightweight components that make up the Volocity's frame and rotors are laminated. Volocopter says it's on track to facilitate the launch of the world's first commercial air taxi services in cities like Singapore, Rome and Paris as early as next year, so we will be watching its progress very carefully. Just a few weeks after Kia officially unveiled the design of its upcoming 2024 EV9, the company has followed up with specs as published in time for the New York Auto Show. Almost identical in size to Kia's gasoline-powered Telluride SUV, the EV9 will go on sale at the end of this year in North America. And while Kia is keeping quiet about specific trim-level variants, it has confirmed that it will be offered with a choice of different battery packs and motor setups. At the entry-level end, there will be a rear motor variant with a 77.6 kilowatt-hour battery pack that we're expecting will feel a little underpowered with a 158 kilowatt motor. A more powerful 280-ish kilowatt drivetrain will be available with all-wheel drive, as will a larger, nearly 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack. For now, though, the EV9 doesn't look particularly sporty, which is maybe a good thing considering its size. What we're considerably more excited about, though, is the all-new Ford e-Transit courier van that's been revealed this week by Ford Europe. Due to debut next year, the e-Transit Courier will join internal combustion engine models on the market, and while Ford hasn't detailed the battery pack sizes yet, it's worth noting that this is a smaller vehicle built on the same platform as the now discontinued Ford Fiesta. If you can get over the looks, the front glass reminds me a little bit of a Pope-mobile. Ford promises 100 kilowatt DC quick charging, an onboard 11 kilowatt capable AC charging setup, and both cargo and crew carrying variants. Given the old Transit Courier was a favourite among tradespeople, minicab fleets and accessibility mobility specialists, this EV, while it has modest specs, could be just what many prospective EV drivers are actually looking for. It's well known that having a dashcam in your vehicle can help keep you and others around you safe by documenting everything from accidents to nearby crimes. Of course, Tesla, unlike some automakers, can upload the recordings made by its in-car cameras and uses some of those images captured while driving, with the owner's permission, to help train its autopilot FSD AI. That said, it's always maintained that video captured would be treated confidentially. This week, however, Reuters, citing interviews with former staff at Tesla, alleges that images and videos captured by Tesla's in-car cameras, including crash footage involving a child being hit by a car, were shared around one of Tesla's offices in California. Tesla, as usual, hasn't responded to these allegations, but it is worth remembering that it's fairly common for salvage Teslas to still contain data and video from the moment of collision which caused the car's demise. In order for society to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels, we need not just the transportation we use to be low carbon, but the way we heat our homes too. And while some places around the world are now making it hard for fossil fuel heating systems to be deployed in new build homes, it's still quite an uphill battle to convince some homeowners to dump gas furnaces for more efficient, greener heating solutions, as the angry comments on heat pump videos from Alec from Technology Connection demonstrates. But as data just released by the International Energy Agency shows, that's changing, with heat pump sales outpacing gas furnace sales in the US for the first time in history. Meanwhile, Europe is experiencing record growth in air-to-water heat pump systems. Cleaner and greener? It's time to switch, especially when you can power it using climate-positive certified electricity from Ecotricity. Before we get to the last two stories, I have a quick question. Are you in the market for a new electric car? If you are, and you are in Aotearoa, you should totally check out our very own buyer's guide at ecotricity.co.nz. It is packed with all the information you need to pick a car that's right for you and includes plenty of details about incentives you can get, charging providers you can use, and of course how to get climate positive energy at home. Follow the link below and start your journey today. The Hyundai Kia eGMP platform is one of the most versatile EV platforms on the market today. Not only does it underpin a range of different electric vehicles from the Hyundai Kia Genesis family, but it offers a range of performance variants from grocery getters to out-and-out performance models like the incredibly fun Kia EV6 GT. And this week, Hyundai teased its take on that very vehicle, the IONIQ 5N. Essentially the same underneath as the EV6 GT, the IONIQ 5N will be the first N-badged EV from Hyundai and promises the same tyre-shredding, stuck-to-the-roadness that you find in the EV6 GT, but obviously with a slightly more retro-styled IONIQ 5 body. Promising drift mode, electronic limited-slip diff and torque distribution, Hyundai teased it this week undergoing winter testing in the Arctic, and it looks great. We are hoping to get our hands on one soon after it launches in July. And finally, Ford, like many automakers, is working hard to transition its vehicle lineup to an all-electric future and has invested a significant chunk of change to facilitate that transition. Part of it, in addition to making EVs, is becoming more transparent about its environmental footprint, which is why we're pleased to see Ford publish its latest integrated sustainability and financial report. In it, Ford states it believes it's on track to reach its goal of making 2 million EVs per year by the end of 2026, and it details the 40% reduction in absolute manufacturing greenhouse gas emissions it's achieved across its fleet to date. It also detailed a program its philanthropic arm has established in the Democratic Republic of Congo to promote responsible and ethical mining sourcing, educating and empowering women working in the DRC's mining industry, and eliminating child labour. And on that note, we are done for the day. Before I go, though, do make sure that you've hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest in EV news from this channel. And of course, if you haven't switched yet, it is time to switch to Aotearoa's first and only climate positive certified renewable electricity provider. It is super easy to make the switch, and you'll be helping the nation wean itself off dirty energy and onto clean green power that will keep the land beautiful for generations to come. There won't be a regular roundup show next week as I will be travelling internationally, but I will be back with more awesome content very soon, as will the lovely Gavin Kiwi EV Shoebridge. He's been busy driving the Tesla Model Y Performance, and his review, as well as his smile, is up online now. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Nikki Gordon Bloomfield. Ka kite! See you next time.